Welcome back, everyone, to the final installment of Friends and Family Month.
The final episode of Screenplay Rewind.
We're all tired. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. God damn it. Dude, so this episode got delayed because I got super sick with bronchitis.
Yep.
And fucking just like misery. I woke up one morning like actively wheezing and like I don't know if you've ever had a sickness that caused you to wheeze really bad, but like it triggers like paranoia and you think you're gonna fucking die. And all that happened, and Battlefield Earth was still the worst fucking thing to happen to me this week. God damn it. Soapey may be banned permanently from Friends and Family Month. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So yeah, apologies for the episode getting delayed slightly, but I could not talk. Fortunately, the doctor told me like we caught my bronchitis like really early on, so I was really only coughing for the first couple of days. And when you catch it early on and use enough cough suppressants and stuff, you can keep it from getting really bad, where you like have a lingering cough for a month because people don't go to the doctor, you know, that shit.
Yeah, I usually end up with that lingering cough.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My energy levels are still my energy levels still aren't the best, so I'm probably going to be on a pitch count for this recording. Like once we hit like 90 minutes, I'm going to be like, Ron, I don't care what the fuck you have to say, we're ending the show.
I'm pulling the plug from the wall, man.
Yeah.
I'm pulling the plug on this movie.
I'm transporting into Ron's recording studio with the fucking nuke. And we're pulling the fucking plug. Oh, sorry. Spoilers for Battlefield Earth, everybody. My bad.
Oh,
fuck.
Man.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Battlefield Earth.
The first people in at least a decade, maybe two, to talk about Battlefield Earth.
Courtesy. I bet the only person that listen to this is going to be fucking Travolta, because I guarantee you John Travolta has a fucking Google alert set up for Battlefield Earth. I fucking guarantee goddamn to you.
For this movie.
He
really does.
He's got a Google alert for Cyclo. He's got a Google alert for Battlefield Earth. He's got a Google alert for Xenu.
Yeah, I know all about the Cyclo. Norman Bates, right? The Bates Hotel. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know all about Cyclo.
This fucking movie, dude. But before we get to Battlefield, by the way, fuck you, Soapey. Go ahead. Okay. I think we had a comment that, and if you ever have a question or prompt that you would like discussed in our little Q&A session that we typically have at the beginning of each episode, you can always email us at screenplayrewind@gmail.com. But Ron, would you like to speak about our comment?
The first comment I want to make is this is episode 98, my man. This is nuts.
Yeah, we're still figuring out what our 100th episode is going to be. We assume we're going to do something. We've thrown out a couple of ideas, but we're still kind of hammering out the details, but we'll figure it out hopefully by episode 100.
I always assume I'm going to do something. I just never end up doing anything.
We'll just have like until we figure it out, we'll just do like 99.5, 99.75 and just keep delaying episode 100.
We got one and only one comment on Kung Fu Hustle from the Bobby, the ever enigmatic Bobby. It simply says, "Next year, I bring the pain."
I think I'm numb to everything now after having watched Battlefield Earth for the first time. So bring it, man. Bring it. I thought Tammy and the T-Rex was bad. Fuck, dude. Tammy and the T-Rex is fucking Schindler's List compared to Battlefield Earth. Man. Oh, by the way, shout out to everyone who might be checking us out now via the Kung Fu Hustle video, because that video popped off on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah, it really did.
Any new YouTube subscribers that just recently joined, welcome.
You know, I was thinking about that. Google Podcasts, we had about 20 followers over there, and they shut down Google Podcasts, and we now have about 20 followers over here in addition to what we had. So We lost 20 on one side and boosted 20. So I wonder if this is people coming over from Google Podcasts.
But possibly.
It's about the same number in about the same time span. They just shut down Google Podcasts. I think you can still view it until like July, which I don't know what the point of that is. It says you're not able to listen.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's weird. I have a question. I was looking at ratings and reviews. We didn't have any new ones. We're still stuck at 3 ratings over on Apple Podcasts.
Which again, I don't blame anybody because fuck ever leaving a review on anything. It's such a pain in the dick on every platform. Why does every platform make it such a pain in the dick, Ron?
I don't know. But I was going to ask you, I know Spotify introduced the ability to leave a rating, but not a review. That has disappeared since it became Spotify for podcasts. When it was Anchor, I could see it. I even went to our Spotify listing in actual Spotify, and we used to have 2 ratings over there, but there's nothing now. There's nowhere to even look at it. Did they roll that back?
Yeah, so I went to edit. Wait, was it Tangled? Was that the one that I
think so.
I think I edited Tangled. I noticed some difference because it had been a while since I had done an edit and had to like log into our Spotify account and everything to get to do like the RSS feed upload for everything. And it seemed like they tried to copy the UI, but it was definitely not the same. So I wonder if in that transition they just kind of like shit canned some features.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe it's just fucking hidden somewhere and nobody knows.
Yeah, it was weird.
You got to jump into the Cyclo learning booth to figure out how to find the ratings on Spotify for podcasters.
Oh man, this movie. By the way, just to stay in the spirit of the film, that is why we are filming this podcast at a canted angle, at a Dutch angle.
Dude.
You know what I almost did? You know how I do a little video slideshow on YouTube? I almost put all the pictures at a Dutch angle.
Fucking hell. Dude, I almost had to go buy some fucking Dramamine. It was making me nauseous at first because, dude, this movie would go up an entire fucking letter grade if they just had one frame that it wasn't in a fucking Dutch angle. Fucking hell. Apparently, this was because of the director.
Yeah, he wanted it to look like a comic book.
Yeah, every shot in the film, pretty much every shot. I started frothing in the mouth at one point, so there might have been some that weren't in Dutch angles, but yeah, because the director wanted to look like a comic book. In what universe does wanting to throw up because every angle in the movie is at a tilt? That's what?
Yeah. What comic book have you ever read that all the frames are tilted?
Comics also, like, either traditionally did the kind of like Watchmen style, 3x3 grid.
Yeah.
And I don't remember any fucking Dutch angles in the Watchmen, man. Like, fucking hell. Like, wasn't this also around the time of, because you remember the Ang Lee Hulk movie? That actually,
I'm like the one person on this planet that likes that movie.
Movie's so bad. That is like the one movie though that like I actually think did kind of capture the comic bookiness because they do a lot of like panels and stuff that are
everyone hates.
But see, that at least encapsulates what is on a comic page. What fucking comics you've been reading where you think 99% Dutch angles like we're in a fucking Joel Schumacher Batman movie? That's not a comic book thing. Just because it was in he watched Batman Forever and he was like, oh,
bingo,
Dutch angles equal comic book. I'm surprised he didn't fucking throw nipples on all the Cyclo costumes as a result.
Did you see what Roger Ebert said about that?
Oh God.
Roger Ebert said the director Roger Christian has learned from better films that directors sometimes tilt their cameras, but he has not learned why.
I'm not even kidding. It was legitimately making me like nauseous at the beginning because it's so unsettling. And they're not even like slight Dutch angles. It's like the fucking camera tripod broke, dude. Like, it's like fucking hardcore. Yeah, I hated it. It took me like an hour to not be actively fucking nauseous about this movie, dude. It was such a horrible experience to watch. And not in a this movie's just bad. This movie's literally painful to watch for
It's
me.
pretty bad.
I think I would rather watch House Shark
Should I
than
go
watch
ahead
this again.
and bust out one of the best criticisms of the movie?
Yes, please.
Also from Roger Ebert. It says here he compared his screening to taking a bus trip with someone who has needed a bath for a long time. It's not merely bad, it's unpleasant in a hostile way. I watched it in mounting gloom, realizing I was witnessing something historic, a film that for decades to come will be the punchline of jokes about bad movies.
Yeah, this ended up getting the like not just the rat
gloom.
That's such a great review.
That sounds like a Lovecraft line. Oh, it's unpleasant in a hostile way was all I could think of as I'm sitting here listening to you. That's why I wanted to say it.
Yeah. The funny thing too is like it didn't just like fucking win the Razzie for that year. They ended up giving it like the worst movie of the decade.
Yeah.
It got the Uber Razzie of the decade. I love it. That was also like a really great bit of trivia. Is just like Barry Pepper had talked about how had he known he was going to win Best Actor, he would have been there to accept in person. I was like, I love you, Barry Pepper, because that's awesome. And I don't even think I think fucking Travolta absolutely should have won that award, not Barry Pepper. I mean, Barry Pepper is bad in this movie, but he's not the person who willed this fucking film into existence.
Oh my god, Travolta fought so hard
for like 15 years to get this movie made. Yeah, I'll let in a little bit. I'll let Ron dive into the production, because the Wikipedia page is so much more entertaining as a product than the actual movie is.
There is something highlighted on my page that I am still laughing at. I've been laughing at it for like 20 minutes now. Oh god, I cannot wait.
Yeah, did you hear this too? So JD Shapiro, who was one of the screenwriters, he openly apologized for the movie, and he accepted the film's Golden Razzie Award for Worst Movie of the Decade. He stated in a New York Post article that the only time I saw the movie was at the premiere, which was one too many times.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he said, looking back at the movie with fresh eyes, I can't help but be strangely proud of it, because out of all the sucky movies, mine is the suckiest. And it's just like, you know what? Pretty much everyone not named Travolta has openly apologized and is kind of in on the joke with this movie, but Travolta still thinks this movie is good.
Yes.
That's the sad thing to me.
But at the same time, this movie came out in 2000. In 2001, he was already backpedaling away from a sequel in interviews. Like, it's really funny to read the back and forth. Like, he openly talks about how great this movie is and he wants to do a sequel. But if someone asks him about the sequel, he steps back from that question.
At one point, he knows. At one point, he said this movie is the Schindler's List of science fiction.
Yes, he did. I was thinking about that when you said Schindler's List.
He should no longer be allowed to work in the industry because of that statement alone.
Oh,
and I love Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And I almost wish that he hadn't been in it, because him being in Pulp Fiction allowed this movie to happen.
This movie got happened.
Because he got an Oscar nomination for Pulp Fiction, and he was immediately back in the spotlight and crept back into being A-list again until Battlefield Earth made sure that.
Speaking of, did you see that he said he described the book in interviews as Pulp Fiction for the year 3000, and like Star Wars, only better. He thinks this is better than Star
And I would just like to point out when your third act involves cavemen hanging out at Fort Knox and figuring out how to operate fighter planes that for now I'm gonna pull a Ron. You know how you always complain about the fucking Jeeps working in Jurassic World, Ron?
1,000 years.
They've been all of this stuff would be dust. It's been sitting there for 1,000 years and the fucking fighter planes still work.
Did you see? Did you see on IMDb that one commenter was like, "Yeah, the shelf life on jet fuel was 4 years." It's like,
1,000
even
years.
if the planes would operate, the shelf life on jet fuel is 4 years.
And they figure out how to pilot them by hopping
In less
into
than
the
7 days.
they hop into the flight simulator thing and they're like, yeah, I'm fucking Top Gun ready now.
You wanna
Okay.
know-
Fucking
know what
piece of
even-
cake, dude.
You want to know what even I didn't notice?
What's that?
I think it was Roger Ebert also. He had a lot to say about this movie, evidently.
Oh, I
gave it,
bet.
he gave it half a star out of 4.
That's 1/2 more than it deserves.
I'm sure that's the lowest he could give it on his.
You
on his
create a new
scale.
low because Travolta did.
um, he pointed out this is post-apocalypse, 1,000 years, and all these buildings still have electricity.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, dude. It's so dumb. All right. I see. This is gonna be part of the problem too. I don't know where to begin.
With
Because
the end. Good night, everybody.
I wanted to die just the whole time. Now, when the third act happened
Uh-huh.
and they have the
Did
fucking
Did it happen?
it happened. It happened when the third act happened, and
When that
then
happened.
they started their training montage by hopping into the fucking simulator thing.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
At
Do,
that
do,
point,
do.
for just a nanosecond, this movie became so bad that it's great, and I actively laughed.
Oh.
But at that point, I have just been ground into a pulp by 40,000 Dutch angles, and their costumes, dude, their fingers look like fucking Spirit Halloween gloves.
Dude. Everything about the costumes are terrible, and Travolta loves the costumes so much.
What is he talking about? They look like
Oh,
someone
dude.
was fucking thrown through like 5 racks of Spirit Halloween costumes and they just walked them out onto set, like whatever just happened to stick to the person flying through all of the shelves at Spirit Halloween. It's so bad.
You want to know who else he ruined? Did you know that chick in that scene at the bar is his wife in real life?
Are you serious?
Yes, that was
Did she
his wife.
immediately divorce him after this? Because
Oh,
I would.
hope.
I would.
Also, someone, I can only assume someone added this and it just never got removed. If you go to the taglines on IMDb, have you seen that poster that the tagline is the worst of all time and it has all of the critics hating it, all their quotes on it? Someone added to the taglines, it's the worst of all time at the top.
Yeah.
Also, I hope Prepare to Go Cyclo is real.
Shit, I need to get a tattoo of that. That's pretty
Prepare
hardcore,
to
man.
Go Cyclo.
And then you do like just a bunch of fucking ha ha ha's beneath it. You have the perfect tattoo.
Did you get what I was getting at? in
Oh
that
yeah.
text?
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Because dude, this movie only has 3 things that happen. Ron, are you ready? Okay,
Lay it on
are
me.
you ready? Number 1, Dutch tilt. We've covered
got
that.
it. Yep,
Number
check.
2, Travolta's character grabs Barry Pepper by the neck. That happens at least 50 times.
At least.
He's still holding on to Barry Pepper's neck to this very
To
day.
this day, yeah.
And then the third
With
thing,
the Spirit Halloween gloves.
and then
He
the
never
third
takes
thing
them
is
It's this weird nervous laughter like he was caught masturbating.
It's
like it's
so awkward. And this is so apparently if you you can read every single bit of like comment that people have had about this that worked on the movie. Every single creative decision is John Travolta. So
Yep.
all of the nervous laughter is why? Do you think there's like one line in the fucking novel where they say like they laugh like nervously, and he just turned that into like the entire species like catchphrase type shtick thing? I don't. Do you have any idea
You know
why?
how you and I can read the same book and read it differently?
Mhm.
Because art is subjective, and like the way I see it and envision it in my mind is different from the way you do. I get the feeling he read this book completely differently than anyone else who's ever read this book.
He must have been on the best shrooms that
He had to have
mankind
been.
has ever digested, dude. Oh my god.
Digested. Don't talk to
Fucking
me about digestion.
dude, I can't digest because of the fucking Dutch angles, man. I still want to puke. It's so nauseating. It's just like relentless. And it's not even like in action scenes or like transitional scenes or anything. It's like in a casual conversation in which no movie ever in just fucking casual conversation does a Dutch angle, man, because it's disorienting. And also when the action scenes are happening, I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on because they don't understand blocking at all.
Not only that,
People look at they lose all of, like, you know how there's like editing rules. I think it's like the 180 rule. Have you heard of that? Where like you have to basically keep, when you're switching back and forth to different like people that are in a scene, there's like the 180 rule where they have to kind of obey a certain direction based on which direction they're looking. That way you're not confused as to like where you're spaced at in the scene. They break every fucking editing rule, man. Every cinematography rule is broken. All the editing rules are broken. It's brutal, dude.
oh, dude. The quote that I found is John Travolta. I wear a tall head apparatus with strange hair. It's dreadlocks. It's not that strange. I have amber eyes and talons for hands. It's quite remarkable. I'm on.
It's quite
stilts.
remarkable.
It's remarkable. We're remarking on it.
I also love you.
If you look at these pictures, cyclos are fucking packing, dude.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that? Like all I could stare at was their goddamn dicks the whole time.
Yeah. You know whose decision that was?
Yeah. You're talking about the action. Everything that happens just about up to a certain point is almost shot for shot the Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? It's the same story. They even do them getting hosed down, like with the fire hose.
The fucking core concept of them being on Earth.
Yeah.
And it's just like, guys, that was cool in Planet of the Apes because it's a
like
fucking twist. It's a fucking twist. Do you know what a twist is? It's that thing that M. Night Shyamalan loves. Dude. And it like is that thing at the ending of the movie that kind of like, you know, shines a new light on the entirety of the movie.
End. It's in the name, Battlefield Earth.
It's
so good.
You know what's fucked up?
What up?
I'm not gonna like give them money, but I need to find like a YouTube video that is actually like a reading of the novel, because I'm just fucking curious, like how much of this is the novel and how much of it is John Travolta being a fucking idiot, you know?
Did you see that this only covers about 460 pages of the like 1,100 pages?
There's fucking more?
This was supposed to be a 2-part movie. This was part 1. Part 2 was supposed to follow this immediately after, but instead, not only did John Travolta tank a bunch of actors' careers, he tanked the production studio.
Oh, I did see that, like, the production company...
Franchise Pictures.
They got sued.
A remarkable, imaginative name. Franchise Pictures.
They got sued because they misreported the budget of Battlefield Earth, and they went bankrupt because of it, pretty much.
Entertainment AG was supposed to pay for 47% of the production costs, and Franchise Pictures reported those costs to be $75 million. And then the FBI did an investigation on investors' behalf because the investors were angry when they lost all this money when John Travolta and a bunch of other Scientologists told them it was going to make all the money. And it turns out this movie cost like $30 million or something. So like Franchise Pictures ended up covering 90% of the production cost, and
Production costs.
they held the guy that runs it personally responsible. So the company and him had to pay millions of dollars out, and it bankrupted him and the company went under.
It's so funny when you
literally the movie that John Travolta's the movie studio, the production company that John Travolta's agent recommended to him was a goddamn scam.
Yeah. These are the building blocks that are required to get this movie made and for it to be as bad as it is. Because it is just like the fucking Mona Lisa of incompetence. Like, holy shit, dude. And what's funny is the reported budget originally was like 79 million. And I think I read that the figure they overinflated it by with their fraudulence was like 30 million. So even if this cost 40 million, that's hilarious because it all went to fucking John Travolta's bank account, man.
Yep.
You can just fucking tell.
He slashed his salary, and he put $5 million of his own money into this movie.
Because he knew he was scamming the production company for like $45 million.
This whole thing is a clusterfuck, dude.
It's like the equivalent of like me like giving you like a $5 bill to help you out with like your current purchase as I steal your wallet from without you noticing. It's just like, come on.
If I say the word Scientology, what's the first name that comes to your mind?
Tom Cruise.
Did you know that Tom Cruise warned Warner Brothers that this movie was a bad idea and they should not make this movie, so they didn't?
Tom Cruise is the hero Gotham needs and deserves right now.
He was the hero to Warner Brothers.
It's so funny to me.
Okay, first off. Let me go to my original point first. It's an L. Ron Hubbard property that Tom Cruise distanced himself from and told Warner Brothers to do the same. But secondly, you don't go by the name L. Ron Hubbard unless you're trying to invoke the name Elrond, right? But that's the whole reason why he goes by Elron. Because I can't hear L. Ron Hubbard and not fucking think Lord of the Rings.
No, now he goes by Elron since. He rebranded. No, actually, currently he's fucking dead.
Yeah, this movie killed him. He tried to get this movie made in the early 80s, and then the production fell through in like 86, and he died in like 87 or something.
They say it by natural causes, but it was actually Tom Cruise and the Mission Impossible plan to take him out.
Oh, yeah. It tanked actors' careers. It tanked a studio, and L. Ron Hubbard fucking died.
You know what's funny to me? When you're watching the way the characters' costumes are set up, do you notice how Forrest Whitaker looks much more unrecognizable than Travolta does?
Yeah.
I almost wonder if Forrest Whitaker, as he hopped on set for the first day, was like, oh god, runs back to the makeup studio and is just like, okay, put as much prosthetic on me and as much makeup as you possibly can, and I will totally change my voice and make myself as unrecognizable as humanly possible.
Oh, one of the things I was laughing at when I was sitting here inhaling a Pop-Tart before I got on with you, what is it? Down here on IMDb trivia. Forrest Whitaker expresses his regret for participating in this movie. Dude, poor Forrest Whitaker. His character in this movie, god damn,
is bad. I also express my regret for participating in watching this movie, by the way.
I mean, did it almost strike you as racist? Like, it really smelt of we don't read so good to me. Right?
It's like, oh, I better learn after the boss man, and then I can make sure to get my 20%. It's really gross, dude.
I'm sure I'm just kind of projecting that out there because he is an African American man, but like the only one in this movie, and he's also like the only idiot in the movie. Like, my God, it just really felt disgusting that his character was the way he was, and he's like the only black man.
This is on the heels, Ron, of this movie's director, Roger Christian, being the second unit director for Phantom Menace.
Yes.
And there's similar concerns with the character people might be aware of called Jar Jar Binks. So if I connect the dots, it'll look too good for Roger Christian. I'm just gonna say, man loves touch angles, does not like black people that much. Apparently, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, me
also,
still don't know what you're talking about.
Also, I love the fact that George Lucas apparently recommended this guy to Travolta to be the director of this. Man, when you were the second unit director for Phantom Menace, and you follow that up with the wombo combo of being the director for Battlefield Earth, that is a 2-year career decision.
Yeah,
for the
ages.
George
Lucas is the one that recommended him. Yet Travolta felt that this book was like Star Wars, only better. And the director of fucking Star Wars,
and he's talking to fucking Lucas for like suggestions, because Roger Christian is known as the set decorator who won fucking Oscars for being the set decorator for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this is like further adds to you don't go after like the second unit director for Phantom Menace and who predominantly is a set decorator to be the director of your movie. It's not the same skill set, my dude.
I need you to Google Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future.
Okay.
And look at these costumes and these sets. Just go to Google Images and tell me that this sci-fi TV show from 1987 doesn't have better costume design and set design than this movie from 2000, 13 years later.
It totally does.
I mean, fuck, man.
They don't have the giant crotch padding though to show how
that's disappointing.
Because we all know the Cyclos, known for the long dreads, giant penises, because John Travolta just has to have his magical alien race be the alpha males of the universe, even though they're all fucking stupid.
He gave his wife the tongue he always wanted her to have.
What? Rod, how is there a continuation of the story beyond this? Why would you be afraid of these villains? They're fucking stupid.
I don't know how we lost a 9-minute battle with them.
They're completely incompetent.
Completely.
Like, hey, here's a great idea. Let's make our slaves super smart and know all of our tricks and technology, because that won't help them at all.
There's another thing I wanted to point out about that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, prisoners with jobs.
Whoa! I don't like that word. God, that movie. Jeff Goldblum is a goddamn national treasure. No, there's something I wanted to point out about that. John Travolta's character keeps going on and on and on about how great he was at the academy. Why is there an academy we can just beam information directly into your brain?
Right. Yeah,
Why is there an academy?
I didn't even think about that. What is the academy? You sit in the chair for like 3 hours and you're just like a fucking super god?
And he graduated top of his class because he got matrixed. The information got matrixed into him.
And also, if information can just be shared so easily, how is everyone not, because they use this fucking like matrix download, like you said, why isn't everyone on like even footing? Because you just get downloaded the information. Their information download is so good that it made all of the fucking slaves super smart and able to
prisoners with jobs.
Sorry, prisoners with jobs. They were so smart they were able to play a video game for 5 minutes to figure out how to operate 1,000-year-old fighter pilot like a
No. All he did was interrupt him. What do we need the melt stick for?
Fucking hell, dude. Like, also, what is the fascination? Oh, dude, when I heard them say Fort Knox, I was like, we're not going to Fort Knox. Please tell me we're not. Oh, fuck, they're going to Fort Knox. As if this movie wasn't stupid enough already.
They successfully passed off gold bars as ore. Like,
why do the Cyclos give a shit about gold?
I don't know, because it's a valuable metal, I guess, but they don't say why.
They have the fucking technology to instant transmission anywhere in the fucking galaxy.
It is so
Why
much
do they need
easier to
gold?
just grab an asteroid. There are fucking supernovas that put out more gold than the mass of the Earth in an instant. Just go hoover it up. I don't understand. Other than we just need fucking Planet of the Apes via L. Ron Hubbard. I don't understand.
I also fucking love how airports in America have more security than the Cyclo's transportation. They transport a nuke into their home world and they have no safety precautions. Hey, Ron, here's an idea. Why don't you set up your transportation like endpoint like over on the fucking Cyclo planet or whatever, like in like a fucking nuclear shelter or something, like so you have some type of security. He teleports in the middle of like downtown New York for their equivalent of that. Like he's just vibing in the middle of the city streets. Oh, and also the movie is and it's probably from the book, but the storyline is so fucking goddamn generic. You have two unnamed Porkins side characters.
Porkins, no!
They have not one self-sacrifice via explosion. They double down with two side characters sacrificing themselves with explosions. Piece of cake.
Where do they get that? Do they even know what cake is? It's been 1,000 years since someone's had cake, Jeff.
Maybe they got it via the Cyclo's Urban Dictionary download. I don't fucking know.
It's a common cyclist expression.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Oh God, this movie. What is your atmosphere made out of that a single nuclear detonation erases the planet like goddamn Krypton?
It got fucking Thanos snapped, dude. That shit's gone.
Oh Lord.
Okay, let's run through the rest of the cast and crew. That way we don't, forget anyone in the indictment.
Hey, real quick, I don't remember what movie we had covered now, but I sent you, and I think I even tweeted it out, the IMDb's More Like This, and they were just Paris Hilton movies. Exact same listing of movies. Pledge This, The Hottie and the Naughty. Apparently Paris Hilton. Yes.
Oh my God. Well, boy, apparently in The Hottie and the Naughty, John Travolta just shows up in the third act in full Cyclo makeup. It's a real weird twist.
Yeah. I the only thing I can figure is because this is a 2.0 star and a 1.7 star.
Or maybe The Hottie and the Naughty are Turl and Kerr.
By the way,
God,
did you know that
go ahead.
There's a House of the Dead movie made by Uwe Boll?
Oh yeah. That's one of his.
That based on the game?
Yeah, that's one of the. That's one of Uwe Boll's fucking tax write-off movies. He did like 10 tax write-off movies of random fucking video game IPs he could get a hold of for tax write-offs. He did it like every year.
I fucking love House of the Dead. It's even got I don't know, Jürgen Prochnow? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, from In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah,
I love that dude.
Like, I had no idea this movie existed. Apparently, it's like Battlefield Earth. Evidently.
Oh yeah. Almost every one of his movies is a Battlefield Earth level fucking slight against humanity and the Cyclos.
Didn't he do Blood Rain though? I like that movie.
I haven't seen it. I think he did though. He did so fucking many of them. I've lost count. Okay, so let's run through the entirety of the cast and crew. So we mentioned Roger Christian was the director.
Yeah, how many people's lives were ruined by this movie? Let's go.
Yeah, a lot. All of mine definitely was. Have you seen his recent batch of movies since this, by the way?
He's still making movies.
I'm not going to tell you the names of the movies because it's
one
irrelevant.
of the writers has one of the movie and it stops at this one and that's it.
My favorite thing is I'm not going to tell you the movies. Excuse me. I am just going to tell you the star ratings in IMDb. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. This is post Battlefield Earth, which got a 2.5 on IMDb. which is a lot more than it deserves.
It has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
A lot more than it deserves. Okay, after this, 3.8, 5.1, 5.2, 3.5, 3.7, and 3.8. I'd say it's probably going great for him. I don't know about you.
He had a trajectory, and then he lost his momentum.
This is the point where you pull the I'm going to direct a random episode of a random television show yearly to keep my insurance with the guild. That is the route you take after you do Battlefield Earth. You don't continue making fucking actual movies because, good God, there's no shame. There's no shame in being a legendary set director. I don't understand why every single fucking person always goes down the path of like, I have to be the director. What's wrong with just like being legendary in your profession?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? What? And it's not even like he took the path, you know, like a lot of like cinematographers will become directors eventually. That kind of makes sense, you know, because they learn from a lot of directors. They're actually like setting up shots. You're the guy known for making the costumes. Have you seen the fucking Spirit Halloween fingies that are on Mr. Travolta? What the fuck?
Hot dog fingers were better.
Dude, the hot dog fingers. Oh god, much superior movie. Like what were we talking about? I'm fucking lost.
We were doing the cast, but I also got distracted.
All right, writers. Well, this movie had writers. Sorry,
apparently.
go ahead.
So the thing that distracted me was, have you ever seen on the side of IMDb it has the other people's like list of movies?
Yes.
This one by Volker80 is a real strange list. It's called Pure Garbage and or Artsy Fartsy List. Movies so awful and pathetic I stopped watching them. I refuse to rate them. Even 1 point or star would flatter these movies. There's 23 movies in it, and it's a real confusing list. Number 1 on his list was Battlefield Earth, to tie it back in.
Yep. I believe it.
He's got Wanted at number 2, which is weird.
Wanted like McAvoy
and Angelina Jolie, yeah.
I mean, I don't love that movie or anything, but that's a competently made.
Extreme.
That's a movie. Like,
and
it's
Will
not.
Ferrell gets hit in the face with a keyboard. I'm all for it because I don't really care for Will Ferrell much.
Oh, it was Chris Pratt who got hit with the keyboard. Yeah. That was
in my mind's eye, it's Will Ferrell.
Anytime someone gets hit with a keyboard in a movie, I'm just envisioning Will Ferrell. I just always wanted to be Elf in the buddy costume from Elf, just in costume for no reason.
God, that fucking movie. Number 4, he's got Drive Angry, which, excuse me,
Drive Angry.
He killed him while we was fucking, Jeff.
I mean, that fucking quote aside is a great movie.
Oh my god!
That's
anything to do with William Fichtner in that movie gets it on like, the top 50 movies of all time.
It's not a good movie, but it's a great movie, and it does not deserve to be in the same list as fucking Battlefield Earth, dude.
His number 12 is or his or her, I don't know. His number 12 is Mary Poppins.
What is this list?
I don't know. This list is so strange. Twilight's in here at 15, so they liked Twilight better, I guess, if I'm reading this right, than Mary Poppins.
But the list is so all over the place. I don't know if we're talking about movies they like or they dislike because there's no through line.
No, Pure Garbage and or Artsy Fartsy List. Movies so awful and pathetic I stopped watching them is the name of the list.
Oh fuck! So, okay.
The Witcher TV show, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Gran Turismo. I haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion, but that's the highlights of his 23, his or her, them, they.
I don't think that person. I'm not convinced that person has ever actually seen any of those movies. They're just making a list to be a troll.
I think this is an AI.
Yeah,
a
cyclo AI.
Fuck? Anyways, that's how I got distracted. What distracted you from the cast? Anger?
I think I'm beyond the point of anger. Now I'm just sad that I wasted my fucking $4. I fucking funded Scientology for $3.99 tonight because the fucking day that I go to watch this bullshit, Tubi dropped it. It's like they were waiting for us.
It was not Tubi.
cut to the Tubi CEO.
Listening to this episode.
See, I could have kept Battlefield Earth on Tubi, but I needed leverage.
Oh no.
Okay, so the writers and the biggest fucking quotey fingers of all time are Mr. L. Ron Sense Hubbard himself as the book writer.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
J.D. Shapiro. I'm going to really quickly glance at what these writers have done outside of Battlefield.
One of them did one movie and then Battlefield Earth, and that was it. Their career stopped there. As it should have.
Ron, did you know Mr. J.D. Shapiro? He was the screenwriter for Battlefield Earth. Now, granted, I can't yell at the writers too much because, like, what the fuck are you gonna do when the novel takes place in Fort Knox with the caveman guys learning to use fighter pilot shit?
Just alone.
But this writer wrote the screenplay of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, what?
Isn't that fucking bonkers, dude? Because you know what, Rod? When
I
I'm
know people
making,
hate that movie, but I fucking adore that movie so much.
you know what, Ron? When I need a writer to adapt my Scientology-based sci-fi epic that is Star Wars, but better, I want the guy who wrote Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh God.
Yeah, make it make sense, dude.
Why not? It worked in Blazing Saddles.
Okay, so the other writer is Corey Mandel. Do it
Send
quick.
them a fox.
Yeah, like
Just
he said,
fox them.
his career got fucking incinerated with the rest of the Cyclone world.
Did you see that? Just 2 movies listed, and this is the most recent one.
I wanted to die when
I think the Church of Scientology might have had this person killed.
I think they might have as well. When they literally fucking kept... No, let me finish this real quick. They fucking
Hang on, I'm gonna let you
literally...
finish.
They literally were calling their fucking homeworld like home planet
Yeah.
and home base. And I'm just like, bro,
The company.
that's the fucking shit you put in your script or your draft
Until you
inside
have a name
brackets
Control F.
until you can Control F to find the fucking brackets when you've actually had time to finish your first draft.
Disappointed.
And then maybe if you finished your first draft and went back to review it for your second draft, you realize you have not one supporting character sacrificed via explosion, but you had 2 of them. And that's a little bit contrived and lazy, but no, we're not going to do a second draft. This shit's golden because when you're surrounded by 5 million Scientologists, they just all think their shit is amazing because it's made for them. It is like the ultimate fucking baked in fan base to where it's. I actually kind of wanted to go back and watch that Leah Remini show. Did you hear about her show where she was doing like the super inside deep dives into Scientology? Because they're fascinating because of how fucking bonkers and stupid they are.
Terrifying is what they are.
The thing is, though, they should be terrifying, but they'd be just as incompetent as the Cyclos as far as killing you. Outside of that screenwriter who disappeared, who probably was killed by the Scientologists. That's the one time that it was successful, but they're stupid. They're so stupid that they become not scary. They just become dumb and crazy. I don't know. They're fascinating, though.
Did you see that they were hounding, was it Warner Brothers or Fox? One of the CEOs. They were like going to his house
To get the movie greenlit?
Yes.
Yeah, I read that too, where he was like, you guys like stalking me doesn't make me want to make the movie, right?
Right. Yeah. That was the quote that I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah, these people are nuts, man.
Absolutely fucking bonkers, man.
Absolutely bonkers.
So let's see. We've talked about Travolta, dude. John Travolta. That, and I like John. Like as an actor,
when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's great. When he's in this movie, fucking incinerate it.
I don't even know where to begin because he seems to have been pretty much the director too, because everything is so specific. Everything is a choice. Like the awkward laugh we talked about.
There's a fucking Dark Souls NPC.
And it has to be a Travolta note because it's not just him. He made like every one of the cyclos have his same speech patterns and stuff. He made it like what he wanted to do. He made it not even like unique to his character. He made it like the entire fucking species acts the same way, which just makes it fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you've seen like an episode of Star Trek, right? You know, like
not a one, I'm guessing.
You know, just because they're aliens, it doesn't mean they all have to, you know, act the same, right? You realize that's a thing, right? It doesn't make any fucking sense, right? No. Oh, okay. Dude, the prosthetics on the side characters of the site, like the guy who has like the 17 double chins.
Is he supposed to be like a reference to Dune? Like
maybe.
What's the dude that was floating around, like the Baron or something?
The Baron, yeah. Maybe, but I can't tell. It's such a hodgepodge of sci-fi, but it's always it has no through line to like connect the dots as far as like what you're even homaging. It's just an out of context reference sometimes, to the point where we can't even tell if they're actually referencing Dune. I don't know, man. It's wild. It's fucking wild. We talked about Barry Pepper. I actually don't think Barry Pepper is at fault at all for this. What the fuck else was he supposed to do in this? Like,
yeah.
The caveman people are so fucking stupid. And this book / script also makes like the really, really like crucial mistake of, just because a person has been on screen for a certain amount of time, it doesn't mean I automatically care about the character.
Right.
Like they play these self-sacrifices in the third act like these epic fucking things that you're supposed to care about. It's like, bro, he's just one of the white people in the prisoners with jobs camp. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. And it's just like, but and then it's just like the one dude fucking, by the way, the main character's name being Johnny Goodboy Tyler tells you everything you need to know about this story.
Okay, first off, two things confuse me about this character. One,
there's a character?
He's an adult Atreyu, right? He's just grown up Atreyu. His costuming, his hair.
Pretty much.
And then, second, why does everybody call him Green in this movie?
It is a conversation they have about if you are a greener, it's because you're always seeking to like find something else because the grass is always greener on the other side. They have like a really dumb conversation about this that made me want to die.
Because at a certain point in the movie, I was like, is his name Green? Why does everybody keep calling him?
It's just like, it's like a nickname for him because of that conversation.
I missed that conversation. Apparently.
The fact that I can remember that conversation blows my mind because I could not bring myself to even fully look at the screen for the first hour of the movie because the fucking Dutch tilts were hurting my brain. Actively, my body was attacking this movie like a fucking white blood cell, man. Like my brain wanted no part of this bullshit at all. Holy hell. So one actor I actually genuinely like is Kim Coates. I always think of him as he's one of the best characters in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you think of when you think of Kim Coates?
It's Sons of Anarchy for me. He plays, I think it's Tig is his name in Sons of Anarchy.
That's been on my list for a while.
It's really good. I mean, you can't go wrong with fucking Kim Coates and Ron Perlman, man.
Ron Perlman, man? Is that what you said?
My brain no longer functions because I've been operating on so much medication in Battlefield Earth that don't even fucking
From
take
now
what
on this podcast, we're referring to Ron Perlman as Ron Perlman Man.
Ron Perlman.
Oh, dude. When I think of Kim Coates, the thing that always pops into my brain first. Did you ever see The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis?
I did. Is he the one that he punches?
He's the one that he tells him if he does that one more time, he'll be the first one that he kills, and then he does it again. Yeah, when he escapes, he does that thing where he rams the bone of your nose up into your brain. Like
yeah.
He punches him up like that. He's the first person he kills.
Is he like knocking like a cigarette out of his hands or something? He's doing something over and over again.
He's doing something like that, or he's doing something with a lighter while he's trying to light a cigarette or something.
Yeah, he keeps like fucking with him.
Yeah, he keeps fucking with him. You do that one more time, you'll be the first person I kill, and then he does it again.
Yeah.
That's what I always think of. Yeah,
I forgot that was him, but I remember once you mentioned it.
Yeah, poor Forrest Whitaker.
We have... Okay. The fiance character in this might be one of the most misguided characters in cinema.
Oh, Chrissy or whatever? Sabine Karzenti?
They have her in the beginning of the movie. She disappears for like 30 minutes, and they're like, "Oh shit, we wrote about that character.
We 30 minutes.
We should have that character back in again." They quickly switch back to her. They show her how she's gonna go try to like look for fucking what's his fuck, Barry Pepper. What's his character name? Johnny Goodboy Tyler. How could I forget? She immediately gets captured, and then they forget about her for like another hour, and then she's just like kind of back in the third act again. And it's just like, why is this character even?
Squad collar.
Why is she even in the movie? It's not like if you're. I'm assuming you're trying to crowbar in like a fucking ill-advised romance subplot into this horrible piece of shit movie.
Movie's ill-advised. Tom Cruise even said so.
But last time I checked, if you don't even have the two quote unquote love interests on screen together, why there is no subplot for romance because they're not even on the fucking screen together ever.
Do you not know how movies work? They told you there is a love story, therefore you are automatically invested.
Oh, you're right.
In this love story. Come on, man. We run a movie podcast. You should know that.
But I was so busy getting invested in the side characters whose name I don't know. I really cared when they blew up. People I don't know the name of.
I'm looking at the editor on this movie, by the way. I don't know any of these things except Battlefield Earth. So I'm convinced John Travolta also did the editing, because I didn't think about this until you mentioned how the fuck was her name? Chrissy?
Yeah, Chrissy.
Keeps disappearing in and out of the movie. And what that jogged loose for me in my memory is we have all of these events. We transition from Act 1 into Act 2. We're getting ready to go into Act 3. And it randomly cuts back to the village, and we're recapping Act 1 again. And
oh my God.
I was like, whoa. It's what? Here's all the Cyclos parts. Now here's all the human parts. We didn't even cut them in as events were happening.
The only thing that was missing was Kristen Stewart voiceover, and that would have just cemented it as cinematic perfection. The whole world lived in harmony until the Scientologists attacked. I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet. They do this. They only paid for one Windows Movie Maker fucking wipe on the screen, and it is this in the center to the edges of the screen. It is done so many times that if you did a drinking game of that, you would be dead by the time they fucking learn how to fly the jets. You'd be fucking dead. I wanted to fucking die. What, dude? If you're gonna copy Star Wars doesn't do the same fucking cheesy wipe every time. No. It's a different wipe. It's not the same fucking thing over and over and over again. Oh my God. It's like just like we were talking about earlier with like the guy who, is he a reference to the Baron? Is he not? Is that supposed to be a Star Wars reference? Because if it is, it's so half-assed that it's no longer even an homage. It's just fucking baffling. I don't know, dude.
I have no idea.
I have no answers, man.
I can't even begin to speculate because it is so out of left field. And like, look, when Star Wars did that in the 70s, that was the pinnacle of movie transition technology. When we did it in 2000, everybody had it in Windows Movie Maker on their Windows ME machines. Like, what the fuck?
This movie, when you just watch it and then take everything at face value, it shows a very, very lack of understanding about what makes any of these sci-fi properties beloved in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like, I just recently got more into Dune because I watched the second movie. Went back and I watched the first movie again. I've been reading the first novel a little bit just because I kind of got back into it. It's one of those properties that's always like intrigued me, but I just never really did like a deep dive on it. But now I'm finally like reading it, trying to get more into it. And it's just like Dune has all of these like super cool bits of world building, and it's unique. You know, Star Wars, even though it is like a hodgepodge, and it's basically Flash Gordon, and it's got all this like, you know, like all these. It's got the same fucking story structure of Lord of the Rings, and it's like, but it has a like a voice.
It was going for a feel though. George Lucas liked the old sci-fi serials from back in the day.
Yeah,
it was the
going,
feel the movie was going for. It
like,
had a direction and an aim and a vision.
It has like a vibe.
Yes.
Like Dune has a vibe. You know what encapsulates this perfectly? The Brendan Fraser mummy movies get the vibe of those types of movies they're homaging.
If we ever make a shirt, get the vibe, screenplay rewind.
This movie,
I'm writing that down.
This movie has no voice because it's just like, just throw shit at the fucking fan and see what sticks.
Oh, it has a voice, just that voice is
I can't even replicate their fucking, like, they had to go into training. They did like a 6-week fucking acting boot camp to get that fucking Travolta laugh down because they all do it perfectly.
I mean, say what you will about Travolta, the thing that is weird about this movie, he knows how to act. He can overact, he can be bad, but there's movies that he's genuinely great in too. Like, he knows what he's doing. Why is he the way he is in this movie?
See, the thing is, though, is I think Travolta is one of those people who they have to be reined in by the director. So
someone
like,
has to tell them no.
What happened? Because you remember, there's a reason why Tarantino had to resurrect his career. Because what happened was that John Travolta became so A-list that he started basically doing like whatever the fuck he wanted for a period of 20 years and ruined his career. And when you watch Battlefield Earth, you know why. Because God forbid
when
he not
I
have
Battlefield Earth. How dare you?
God forbid he not have a good director, and God forbid Travolta be the uncredited director of your property, because this is the shit that happens. Because it's really funny too. I don't know if you noticed in the Wikipedia pages and trivia somewhere, he went to Tarantino first, and Tarantino was like, no. That's if I could be a fly on the wall when Travolta
conversation
for the Tarantino conversation, he's like, so Quentin, man, I got this great project, man. You're not gonna believe it.
Did you see he had like a weird fixation on Tarantino about it? Like, Tarantino, everything you just said, and then later in interviews, he talked about how much Tarantino liked it, but Tarantino's never said anything about liking this movie.
I guarantee you what happened in that conversation was he was, you know,
Play
like,
it on me.
Quentin's like, you got to read this. It's fucking incredible. This is gonna be the next Star Wars. This we got to make this movie together. I'm gonna get a fucking Oscar nomination again. You're gonna win Best Director. It's gonna be great. And then Tarantino, probably because he is at this point friends with them because of Pulp Fiction, at least to a certain extent, is like, oh yeah, I'll read it when I get some time, and yeah, like we'll talk about it later. And then Travolta took that as he's gonna make the fucking movie. We're gonna be fucking rich and famous all over again. It's gonna be great. And then he just never read the script and never got back to him about it. And they probably haven't spoken to this day since then, because I guarantee you Travolta is the person to, even though Tarantino resurrected his fucking career, he would never forgive him for not directing Battlefield Earth. Because it's Travolta, man. Like, you know he fucking did that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude. I'm scrolling back through the photos of this movie, and when you can't find a photo that isn't a Dutch angle, I'm like, dude.
Yeah,
Also, the beginning of the movie is all about how his like caveman people don't realize that they're on Earth, you know, and then they do like the third act Planet of the Apes twist in the first 8 minutes of the movie for some reason. Motherfucker, y'all saw the cityscape, right? Y'all had to have seen the cityscape off in the distance and realized, oh, those are fucking buildings, man, right? Like, there's no way they're in the fucking mountains like that, and they don't eventually, when they're walking around, see the fucking cityscape that is like 20 minutes away, apparently, because they get there so fast, and they're just in Denver. They're in downtown fucking Denver in 20 minutes, and y'all didn't see that shit? You're up on the fucking mountains, man. You can see everything. You're up on a fucking mountain.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's
so fucking stupid.
Oh.
This movie.
So happy.
Are you able to, when you watch this, like, so bad it's good at? Can you enjoy watching it? Because like with Tammy the T-Rex, I get it. You know, I can see watching that and then it being so bad that it's good. Or like, what was the movie that had the
I believe that is the point of Tammy and the T-Rex.
What was the movie that has the really horrible CGI house thing on the water that you used as your backdrop? Is it Sharkenstein?
Oh, Sharkenstein.
Sharkenstein, I can watch and have fun. You know, this is not fun to watch, man. This is fucking painful, and it's so long.
Why is it 2 hours long? I had a smile on my face the whole time because I could just hear you in this podcast right now.
Hear me
the entire time I was watching it.
You could hear me in advance bubbling in anger. And
I could hear it from 30 miles away. You watching
bubbling
this
like
movie.
Fucking Arnold in Total Recall.
And the live texting you were sending me, which is something you never do, by the way. I live text you shit all the time, and then every once in a while I get something from you during a thing. But it felt like, I don't know, for a period of like 4 hours, I was getting texts from you. And then you're like, okay, there's 20 minutes left. I'm like, you're still watching it?
I swear this movie is 17 years long.
Like,
it wouldn't end.
How many times did you watch it?
It wouldn't end,
Once
dude.
was enough. Oh, God.
It's so painful. I haven't been so excited to see end credits ever in my life. I can't even put into words, man. It was like I had defeated the fucking alien invaders. I was so excited. What is your take on the decision to do these gun blasts, which sometimes have a gun blast special effect and sometimes don't, and they just send people flying? Oh, also, what wasn't used for John Travolta's cocaine budget had to have been used on sugar glass, because this movie fucking loves throwing people through sugar glass and people hitting sugar glass. It's like half the runtime.
Sugar glass?
At one point in the beginning of the movie, when Barry Pepper has just ran into his two homies and they're running through the mall,
every window he can.
He is at one point thrown through a sugar glass pane thing in this like little museum section
for slow motion for like 10 minutes.
The editing and the special effects are so bad, I couldn't tell if he had been thrown through one glass pane window or like 50.
This is like, this whole movie feels like something if you just typed in like homemade sci-fi movie on YouTube. This is what you get.
You remember we bitched a lot about how in Fellowship of the Ring they had that low frame rate slow-mo thing?
Yeah.
It was like someone watched that, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna make an entire movie of that.
Incredible.
I'm gonna make an entire movie of that, but at an angle, bro. And it's gonna be incredible.
What year did Fellowship come out? Like 98?
I think Fellowship came out in 2001.
So it actually came out after this movie.
So Fellowship, like, Peter Jackson was like, I'm gonna make so many scenes of that in Fellowship of the Ring. Oh fuck, everyone hated it. Okay, it's gone. It's just gone. That's like the one mistake in that trilogy is those stupid slow-mo things. And then Peter Jackson was smart enough to be like, oh, we're just gonna shit can that because that was a fucking bad idea.
I feel like you watching this movie was just, today the Jeffs go to war. So it is likely we go to our doom.
It's so accurate.
Oh. Release the river! Drown me so I don't have to watch this movie.
God, dude.
I don't think I've ever done that in this podcast before. You can ask Christina about this. Any chance I get when we're watching something to throw in Release the River, because it is one of the most powerful examples of ADR I've ever seen in a movie.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to know what ADR is, look up the Release the River line from Two Towers. Oh, God.
I also want to remark on
Please.
how bad this is as an adaptation as far
you
as
thought this was bad?
I mean, I'm sorry. 10 out of 10. Two Spirit Halloween thumbs way up. No, but this is so bad as an adaptation, like being serious, as far as conveying information that is clearly from the novel. And I'm going to convey these scenes in a way that nobody can figure out what this is even about. There's a certain scene, and if it is established early on in the film, God forbid I missed it because I physically was being made sick by this movie. I couldn't watch it, and I was just kind of like half watching it for a bit until I acclimated to it. But at one point in the movie, Barry Pepper is talking to one of his homies and cuts off a piece of his hair.
Yeah, what is that about?
What is that about? Because I watched that and it's they grind the fucking movie
to a halt.
To do this scene.
For this guy to be like, I'm so masturbating with this later. Like, I don't understand. Why did he cut his hair off?
Also,
and since when did the Godstone get made into a dagger, by the way? When did that happen in the movie? Right.
Also, really, really dumb continuity error. At one point,
I can't believe this movie has.
This movie had continuity.
This movie. This movie is flawless, Jeff. I won't hear it.
At one point, they show Barry Pepper. Maybe they just forgot to put his fucking wig on. I don't fucking know. But at one point, he has
he had like Obi-Wan Kenobi short hair from like episode 1
for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was at first I was like, oh, they're showing. So in the Ron, I don't know if you're aware of this, but sometimes the movie will show a character change. Wait for this. Via their wardrobe or appearance. Did you know you can do that in a visual language? It's fucking bonkers, right? Nobody told Travolta that. So he has a short hair, like it's like this like weird Obi-Wan haircut, like he said, and it is like supposed to be so they've been evolving. They've been getting smarter because they hopped into the anti-dum-dum chamber and watched fucking National Geographic for 12 hours. I don't know what the fuck they're watching in there, but it's supposed to show they're more sophisticated because they cut their hair. They look more like yeah.
It's the first one under Goofs, the very first thing.
Yeah, why don't you go to
Tyler's hair constantly changes length throughout the film.
I shit you not, and 5 fucking minutes later, he's got the fucking caveman haircut again. And it was supposed to have only been like a day later. Who fucking made this shit, dude? Oh, I know, it's John Travolta.
'Tis only Travolta to sin. Okay. Can I ask you something else I didn't understand?
Well, what's that? I can't imagine misunderstanding anything about this flawless masterpiece.
So,
But continue.
oh my god, I hope this is true. Okay, real quick. So I didn't understand the hair. The other thing I didn't understand is somebody evidently died who needed medicine that took him a long time to find and is really rare. And his reaction to finding out he's too late to save them is he throws the medicine away that someone else can probably use later or they can use in trade. Why does he scream and just throw the medicine?
Good question, man.
If we're living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland and we find some like fucking penicillin laying around,
it's priceless.
It's priceless.
And he just yeeted that shit off the fucking Rocky Mountains.
I don't understand it. The thing I was saying I hope is true is something caught my attention under factual errors, which it's hard to believe this movie has any. The heroes find fully fueled and armed 1,000-year-old Harrier jets. They're actually AV-8Bs. Did they get the airplanes wrong?
I guarantee you they did, and I'm so happy they did, because that's a great detail.
So then it says on the pad at Fort Hood, Texas. Fort Hood is a U.S. Army installation. The only U.S. service to fly the AV-8B is the Marine Corps.
Nailed it.
That is in one blurb on IMDb. What is a revealing mistake? I've never seen this category. I didn't even think about this.
Go ahead.
This is up there with who's taking care of all the lawns in The Walking Dead. Many of the human males apparently were able to shave every day or so since few had beards.
That was actually something I noticed. So fucking homeboy Johnny Goodboy, whatever the fuck his name is, he's been in prison. And you know what happened before he was in prison? He was a fucking caveman, and he looks like he is shaving every hour on the hour with like a professional barber.
He's like Vin Diesel with that scrap of metal shaving his head, except it's the glass dagger that no one has taken from him since they imprisoned him.
Right?
Also, you know the breathing mask they wear on their nose?
Which looks like the most uncomfortable fucking...
Well, I'm gonna guess it blocks their ability to breathe. Because someone on IMDb is pointing out that when any of them wear those masks, they're breathing through their mouth in the scenes that they're wearing them.
Oh my god. Oh, I also have to point out one of my favorite bits in the movie that made me actually laugh out loud and have a good time while watching it. It's like one of the 2 or 3 seconds of the runtime. When they throw the dude off the side of the mountain is one of the funniest special effects I've ever seen in a movie.
They just took the handle on their editor and just shrank him down to animate him falling.
It's fucking glorious. And excuse me, I urge anybody to YouTube Battlefield Earth guy falling, because if you could find that scene, oh man, it almost made like the whole movie worth watching. It was great.
Also, anytime someone said man animals, did you think of Manimal? Have you ever seen Manimal?
I did actually think of that, yeah.
I was like, why do we keep invoking Manimal, a horribly flawed TV show that is still far superior to this movie? Which, it's only a matter of time until we remake Manimal. You know that. We're doing the Fall Guy right now. It is only a matter of time until we get to Manimal. But
that's another thing too. That this I'm assuming it's all from the book, so it is L. Ron Sens Hubbard, just being a complete fucking hack. Which you would have guessed that the guy who helped create Scientology is a fucking idiot. And this is something that like I think Star Wars is clever about, while also being like simplistic, and it's kind of like it's pretty subtle. when you're doing a sci-fi epic, the names of things really matter.
Yes.
Like in Dune, so much of like what makes like Dune
Spice,
unique is
capital S.
Is how interesting and how like bizarre some of the language is, as far as like the vocabulary that's like
This
common
movie has
for
no vocabulary.
no vocabulary
identity.
at all. When you don't even bother to give, they call it fucking home base. I don't even think the fucking Dreadlock planet has a fucking name, man.
Other than have a fucking name, man.
Maybe because it's fucking dust now. It sure doesn't have one now.
Tell me there's a YouTube video out there where someone overdubbed all the Cyclones with Jamaican accents.
That would be great.
Please tell me that exists.
Is that the Battlefield Earth Snyder cut? Because I need that.
Give it to me now. I want
man,
that,
you know what,
and I want it released
what?
in black and white.
I need it at 4:3, man. You know what would fix Battlefield Earth? 4:3. Just give it to me. Because that made Justice League. You know what made Justice League worth watching, Ron? It being 5.5 hours long and in 4:3. Fucking slow clap, baby. Let's go.
So the thing I busted out laughing at when you were talking about that on IMDb under the plot holes section, Terrell tells Johnny that soldiers with their technology only lasted 9 minutes against the Cyclones, yet untrained cavemen were able to defeat them using the same technology, which sat unmaintained for 1,000 years.
That's something that I genuinely don't understand is, to what degree did Travolta want this to be funny? Because when you're watching some of these scenes, it's almost like Travolta wanted these guys to genuinely be menacing, but they're a parody at the same time. And it makes for a really weird like tone.
They're Batman
because
66 villains is what they are.
There's some moments where he's doing like genuinely fucked up stuff, but because of like his tone with, or like the dialogue, the way he presents it, I can never tell if he intended it to be funny or not, and that is such a bad place to be in when you're making this movie.
I get the feeling none of this is supposed to be funny. I get the feeling this is supposed to be dour and dark.
It's supposed to be like a sci-fi.
Really make you think.
It's presented like he thought he was making a sci-fi epic, but he was making a fucking like Spaceballs parody, and the fact that he didn't understand that was happening is hilarious to me, because it's like, holy fuck, man. You've been making movies for 30 years. How can you not tell like the difference in tone when you're on set fucking directing? I would love to have like a behind the scenes featurette and show just how much direction was, like Travolta versus the actual director.
Yeah.
Just to see like, did fucking Roger Christian have any say in this movie at all, even though he's credited as the director? Because the movie was fucking willed into existence so much by Travolta that I feel like he was George Lucas level, like judge, jury, and executioner on every creative decision. I don't think anyone, because like we talked about earlier,
their creative careers, that's for sure.
Right? The cinematographer said like none of the decisions were his. So it's like I think it's just all Travolta, man. I don't think Roger Christian fucking did anything on this movie.
Much is made of the alleged inability of the man-animals to mine. Yet there is a scene in which many of them are seen operating a forge, which requires know-how exceeding the simple act of digging.
The plot holes in this movie
are incredible.
Are amazing.
There is no reason that the vault at Fort Knox would have been left open. It says at the bottom. I didn't even think of that. They just walked in.
Yeah, they walked through the fucking front door, man.
They just walked in. I didn't even think about it.
Fort Knox, definitely not known for its security at all. I also love the fact too that these fucking idiots, this like Travolta and his group of idiots, are specifically like in charge of security. And they're the dumbasses that fucking instant transmission the nuke back to their homeworld. And
they're in charge of security And he handed the secrets of the known universe to Manimal. To Manimal Atreyu.
So, to the manimals with jobs?
The Manimals with jobs. All I can think of anytime someone says manimal or man animal is, have you ever seen Mystery Science Theater cover Puma Man?
I have not.
I'm gonna send you a GIF of a Mike quote from that movie. It's the only thing I can think of. It's the way he flies is hysterical. And Mike just says, Puma Man, he flies like a dumbass.
Did you also have a really hard time making out what was being said in some scenes?
A lot of them, it turns out.
Like in the first like 20 minutes of the movie, every scene where he's with like his group of cavemen, I couldn't tell what the fuck was being said.
Yeah, I had subtitles on during those scenes.
Yeah, it was bad. I also, because I was so fucking in and out of this movie constantly, just trying to like will myself to fucking pay attention. There's a quote from Turl, "Do you want lunch?" And I have no frame of reference from what scene that could be from at all.
It is when he's trying to get him to speak their language and he's waving a rat in his face.
Oh, yeah. Out of context, these quotes are actually funny.
I didn't even look at the quotes.
But I actually like this, like, I kind of paid attention to this scene, but was just checked out constantly. But the conversation they have about the dog, where they're like, obviously the superior race having the man animal chauffeur it around. Like, that's pretty funny on paper, but good God, is everything delivered like dog shit? It's like, I can't tell what the fuck is even meant to be funny or not, dude.
Also, crap-lousy ceiling. I thought I told you to get some man animals in here to fix it. You don't trust them to mine. You trust them to do like structural integrity work, which they just came in with pickaxes and broke it apart.
Crap-lousy
is the brilliant piece of dialogue there.
That's what should be on the poster. Crap-lousy. Oh.
I'm going to make you as happy as a baby cyclo on a straight diet of Kerbango. Okay. First off, the whole sentence is nonsense. But do you, Jeff, when you refer to a baby, constantly call it a baby human?
Every time.
Every time the cyclos referred to themselves, they had to specify cyclo. So she says, I'm going to make you as happy as a baby cyclo on a straight diet of Kerbango. Why not just happy as a baby? They're cyclos. I'm going to understand what they mean.
Are you, though?
Like, I don't understand everything they said. They had to specify if they're talking man animal or cyclo, just like that, throughout the whole movie. And that drove me insane.
You want to tell me a scene?
Oh, here it is again. You imbecile. What kind of crap-lousy game are you playing? Crap-lousy appears through this movie several times. It's even hyphenated like it's one word.
It's probably from the fucking novel, man.
It must be.
Fucking L. Ron Hubbard thought it was a fucking comedic genius mastermind.
Don't you invoke Elrond here. You're in the house of Elrond.
This fucking bit from the third act made me want to fucking break my TV. This was some real stupid shit. Okay, so in like the third act when the cyclo dudes and like the fucking fighter jets are there and it's a full-blown fucking terrorist attack for them for like half an hour.
Yeah.
They've been getting attacked by terrorists for about 25 straight minutes in third act time. And they don't fight back until fucking Turl jumps on the fucking megaphone and says, "This is Turl, your chief of security. Exterminate all man animals at will and happy hunting." And at that point, they fight back. Yep. They weren't fighting back. Oh, I don't know. When the fucking terrorist attack has been going on for half an hour.
Yeah.
We got it. They were fucking killing the humans for fun.
Yeah.
And now when they're getting attacked,
now they have an excuse to exterminate us.
And now they have an excuse to kill fucking all of them, and they don't do anything to fight back until they're told to, and then they're threatening all of a sudden because the script said they needed to be. It's so fucking bad. Holy shit, is it stupid. It insults intelligence. It's so stupid, like constantly. Holy the fuck. Okay, I think I'm about out of tidbits for. I think I'm done. We're at the 90-minute mark. I think I'm at a pitch count for the day. I'm gonna wrap it up on that. Ron, sorry, Elron, do you have anything else on the cinematic achievement? Fuck you, Soapey. Battlefield Earth that you would like to talk about before we sign off for the day?
Just my favorite critic review of all time from June 3rd, 2015 by Alexander Walker of the London Evening Standard. It's one of the top critics listed on Rotten Tomatoes for this movie. Appalling, period. That's the entire review.
Appalling, period.
It's just appalling.
Crap-lousy, period.
One of the best things I've seen. Crap-lousy. Oh my god. It's amazing. Why 2015? Why so late?
I don't know, dude.
Why did it take them 15 years? Release date for streaming was 2017. So that doesn't add up either.
If this shit goes back on Tubi tomorrow for free, I'm gonna fucking hunt down Tubi. This is gonna be like a fucking
they're just fucking with you at that point.
Yeah.
I do have one more thing I forgot to mention. I mentioned at the top of the thing I've been laughing at. Well, I laughed at for like 20 minutes when I read it.
Yeah.
This is so sad. There was a publicity event of journalists and critics where they had watched the movie, and then Travolta came out, and he asked if they enjoyed it, and nobody replied. It was crickets in the room.
Bro, Ron, here's a genuine question. Did you scroll through the fucking photos on IMDb to see who all was at events for this in 2000?
Oh, it is nuts. One of them is just funny on its own. It's Sylvester Stallone in the center, and you barely see his brother, and they have him credited in the photo. But
Did you
he's
see
cut off.
Ryan Reynolds is here
Yes.
for this. Why is Jennifer Love Hewitt, Jay Leno, Tia Carrere? Why?
It's insane.
Why are any of these people at the fucking event for Battlefield Earth?
Don't know.
Did 10 million of the budget go to Travolta fucking paying celebrities to come to the fucking premiere?
Evidently.
It's insane.
But yeah, I just wish I was in that room. So what do y'all think? Did y'all love it? And just crickets.
I gotta send you, but before we sign off, I gotta send you this. I'm gonna be sending it to you over text just to make it quick. But look at fucking Forrest Whitaker's face at the event for this. Man is trying to hold it together. He is not having a good time at the event for Battlefield Earth at all.
This is where his Rogue One character was born.
Oh my god. Okay, man. Yeah, we got to sign up before I officially fucking pass out. So that was your last bit you had for Battlefield Earth.
Oh, I could go on all night, but
that's the thing.
My favorite thing
is Battlefield Earth is the fucking gift that keeps on unfortunately giving, because I could sit here for another 3 hours and talk about this shit that don't make sense, but none of it makes sense. So at that point, you're just talking about everything being bad because everything is fucking bad. So it's just like repetitive. And man, could this movie have been fucking an easier pill to swallow if it was fucking 90 minutes, man? Why is this shit 2 hours? This wasn't even in the time where like 2 hours was the minimum. This shit could have been fucking 90 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And I would have been a lot less glued to my fucking TV in agony, 30 minutes, man. Like, help me out, please. It's not like they fucking take the time to establish anything. Fucking Barry Pepper cut off part of his hair for no fucking reason and handed it to a guy for no fucking reason. I'm still trying to figure out why.
Hair that he grew in the span of 2 hours.
It's my magical fucking hair, dude.
From Obi-Wan Kenobi to fucking Cyclo and then cuts part of it off. For some reason, hands it to someone who accepts it like he just got the dude's wishing stone or something. Like,
goddamn Johnny Goodboy Rapunzel up in here, dude. Okay,
He got
Ron.
the jade egg from Goop.
Okay, Ron.
His reaction.
We gotta get the fuck out of here before I pass out. Battlefield Earth on the eve of how sick I've been almost fucking was the final blow. I almost died. It was rough to get
He
through.
almost
Man,
fell off the cliff.
like you said, it took me 4.5 hours to watch a 2-hour movie, and I don't know why. I don't know.
I think
But
he passed out and it started itself over, and he just woke up in the same place.
that's what happens when you sit down in the fucking information download machine. Is just Battlefield Earth on a loop
You literally,
forever.
you texted me, and I literally texted back, "Are you still watching it?"
It wouldn't fucking end, dude.
It went on forever.
It wouldn't
You were
fucking
texting
end.
me all day about this movie.
Oh god damn. Okay, I'm gonna do our sign offs, and I'll flip it back to you to figure out what our next movie is gonna be. But if you want to follow the show more, and I know I do, because by the way, this is the end of Friends and Family month for the year. Maybe in perpetuity because of Battlefield Earth. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But it'll probably come back next year. And Bobby is gonna have something fucking diabolical because he said, what was his comment? You said like
He's gonna bring the hurt,
next year he's bringing the fucking hurt, man.
which I can't help but read in Patrick Warburton's Joe Swanson. Bring the hurt.
Did Tame and the T-Rex have a sequel? I'm wondering if he's diving back into
I
that.
hope.
Well, okay.
I want to
If
watch
you would
that
like to
movie
again,
I love Tammy and the T-Rex.
fucking. I don't know if I can do this podcast with you anymore.
There's a funeral scene with a fucking T-Rex standing in the background and no one notices.
I take
on.
after having watched Battlefield Earth for 5.5 hours today, I take back all of my negative comments about Taming the T-Rex. It's fine.
I would like to issue an apology to Tammy
It's
and the
fucking-
T-Rex. To the testicular standoff that is Tammy and the T-Rex.
I'm gonna post the official critic review. No longer appalling.
No longer appalling.
Okay. If you want to follow the show more, we are on Twitter at SPR Filmcast. We can follow us for show updates there. If you did catch us on YouTube, obviously liking and subscribing is a huge help, and a big shout out to everyone who recently joined the show via YouTube.
Yes,
we appreciate the listens. Yeah, welcome to the show. Oh fuck, I
And
can't. I'm just
goodbye.
yeah. I sign off. I'm out. I'm TPing to fucking home world, going out with the homies. Where the fuck was that in the sign off? Any questions you have for Ron and myself, you can always email us at screenplayrewind@gmail.com. And please share us out to your friends. Do you have a friend who loves Battlefield Earth? Do you have a friend who hates Battlefield Earth? If you have the former, I don't think you should be friends with them anymore. But if you have one of the latter, you can direct them to our show. Ron, what are we covering next time?
It's time, Jeff.
Oh,
I've
fuck.
delayed it for 3 years. I've talked about this movie off and on with you.
It's
on
Battlefield
and off
Earth.
the show. Battlefield Earth 2, baby. No, I am selecting the 13th Warrior.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, according to Just Watch, it's on Hoopla if you have a library card, but it's available to buy or rent in all the usual places.
Sorry, I don't do much reading. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. 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 Oh, God. No.
I like how that's the last straw out of everything.
That's the one that broke me.
Ron's review of that comment, appalling. Top critic.
Oh, fuck.
I love how I derailed all of your excitement about your pick.
God damn it.
Like a fucking nuke to your atmosphere,
I
dude.
even... Yo, girl. You come home with me, I'll be like a nuke to your atmosphere.
Oh, God.
I even re-downloaded my audiobook I planned to listen to before I watched the film.
Is that the Michael Crichton one?
It is.
I watched it.
It's called
when you...
Eaters of the Dead, and he wrote it on a bet, which
Interesting.
we will talk about when we cover the movie.
I remember watching it because I think you picked it for what was the precursor to this podcast where we used to pick a movie to introduce the other person to. And I think that was when you picked for that, like a long time ago.
There's a group of people that think this movie is just okay and completely unremarkable, and it's not even really worth your time. Then there's like the cult following that this movie has, and I am in that camp. I fucking love this movie. This movie's got some really great characters in it, and it's all about them characters. For those that don't know, it is a retelling of Beowulf.
Okay.
I
remember.
if you know anything about Beowulf, that is what the 13th Warrior is.
I remember watching it, but it's been so long that it'll be like a brand new
Yeah, we've
movie
been doing this
so.
podcast for 3 years, so it's been at least that long since you've watched it.
Yeah, I think we watched it a long time ago. So it'll be like a brand new movie for me. So I'll see how I end up falling in on it as far as joining the fucking cult or not.
The cult of the 13th Warrior sounds like an actual fucking cult. And
it does.
If that was a oh god, what is it called in Dark Souls?
Covenant.
Yeah, so that was a Covenant in Dark Souls. I would totally join the Covenant
Yeah,
of the 13th Warrior.
It's pretty great.
That sounds so good.
It's pretty badass.
I want to learn how to make a mod now.
It's pretty badass. Okay, God, we're Ron. We fucking did it. Friends and Family Month is done for the year.
And ever.
I didn't think we were gonna make it through. No, but for, in all honesty, like thanks to everybody that submitted. What ended up being a totally random assortment that was super fun to cover, Battlefield Earth excluded. But it was, while it was an excruciating movie to watch, I had fun talking about it and riffing on how utterly terrible it was. This has been a fun recording.
I thought you had an aneurysm at some point during the show.
Maybe that's why the movie took 4.5 hours to watch, because I was just, having a seizure on the ground.
Oh, I cannot feel. I felt like you watched this movie all day, dude.
I also feel like I watched this movie all day, dude. I'm fucking tired.
I know Joke laid down to sleep for an hour after this movie was over. I was like, I need a fucking nap. And then I laid down and slept through my alarm and left like 15, 20 minutes late to go pick up my kids.
I might have to rewatch X-Men 97 again just to experience creative quality again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we got a podcast for that coming up here in a couple of weeks, because there's only like 2 episodes left of that, and we are gonna have a bonus episode just to cover that, because we've been chomping at the bit to talk about that shit forever.
Just mentioning the name X-Men 97 gives me a goddamn cyclo hard on.
So good.
So good.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for participating in Friends and Family Month. It's been a fun time. Asterisk. Some might find parts of it appalling. I'm still haunted by Kristen Stewart voiceover for all time. I don't think I can truly recover from that.
The day Jeff died. She didn't even die, by the way.
Well, she's a masochistic lion. They don't. They just keep on.
I thought he was the lion. I thought she was the stupid sheep or whatever.
Was it stupid lamb? What is stupid lamb? That sounds like something they'd say. That sounds stupid enough to be. He just
drag that lamb to the gravel pit.
So, Ron, do you think the Cyclos, do you think they had the skin of a killer or no?
I'm sorry, the what?
The skin of a killer? Do you remember that?
Oh, the skin of the, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the Skinnamakiller, like Skinnamarink, but Skinnamakiller.
Skinnamarink. I watched Skinnamarink, and I want my fucking that fucking 2-hour movie also took 5.5 hours to watch, so fuck that movie.
Yeah? I don't even know what it is. I just keep hearing people talk about it.
I watch it. I don't fucking know what it is, because it is nothing. It's fucking terrible. God, I hate that movie. Nobody pick it. I'll fucking kill you.
I have changed my answer. We're no longer watching the 13th Warrior.
I'm ending the recording now before Rod can just pick by.